What's a delicious poor man's meal? Okay, as a Russian I am telling you potato is the best food there is. It's cheap. You can cook it multiple different ways so you will not get tired of it. Also it won't get bad easily, get rotten. My ancestors survived cold winters and wars just by eating potatoes. You can slice it into thin slices and fry it or just boil it with hot water or oven it. Barbecue it, literally everything. I make hobo dinner when I go camping. Ground beef, onions, carrots, potatoes and a bit of garlic. Wrap it in tinfoil, I prefer the non-stick kind, and throw it on some coals in your campfire. My friends who have never camped with me are always impressed. Baked potato with cheese and broccoli on top. Buy a pound of baking potatoes, a block of cheese, and frozen bag of broccoli. It'll make you at least 3 to 6 of those. If you're feeling really crazy, then throw in some chili too. Canned chili for hot dogs works best. It can be as cheap as like 0.50 cents. Spaghetti with oil and garlic. Quick, easy, cheap. Congee. Add rice and lots of water to a pot. Can keep it plain or sprinkle some chicken bouillon powder and fresh ginger slices. Cook until it reaches creamy porridge consistency. Top your bowl with scallions. I make this when I'm feeling sick since it's easy on the stomach. I was a single mom in university. To stretch my budget, I made homemade soups. Every day for years I had homemade soup for lunch and sometimes for dinner too. Pour dessert. Flour tortilla with butter, cinnamon and sugar. Stir fry. Chicken and rice. And tears. So many tears. Instead of soy sauce. Lower sodium. Ramen. Drained with no broth. With poor man's pad thai sauce. Mix a tablespoon of peanut butter into a small ramekin with enough soy sauce and sriracha to be able to thoroughly mix it into a smooth sauce. Dump over the cooked ramen. And baby, you've got a stew going. It tastes good. It's got a bit of protein. Bit of fat. Bit of carbs. Little sweet. Little heat. It's not the greatest nutrition you could eat, but it's way better for you than Oreos, and if you want to clean up the macros a little you can sub PB2 for the peanut butter and coconut aminos for the soy. And that'll cut the fat and sodium at least in half. And it's vegan. If you care at all. Potatoes. In every way possible. Edit. Wow. So many fellow spud enthusiasts. To set the record straight. I am a female. French by blood. Raised by Lithuanians. Not an Irishman. I see you latkes. Serious answer here. Get a can of black beans and some cheap salsa. Put the drained beans and some salsa in a skillet and let it cook for like 10 minutes. Crack a couple eggs and let them poach in the beans. Serve with cheap bread or tortillas. All very cheap ingredients. And it's super high in protein, so it's filling and healthy. You can also sauté in any veggies you have sitting around or put in whatever spices you have lying around. Edit. A couple of people are mentioning shakshuka. That's where I got the inspo from for this dish. My boyfriend doesn't like tomatoes, but we love Tex-Mex flavors, so I made up this altered version for us. Grilled cheese sandwich ETA. Y'all are making some fancy sandwiches, and don't get me wrong, I'm not mad about it. But a cheap grilled cheese made with stale white Wonder Bread. I can't believe it's not butter, and some Kraft singles holds a special place for me. Ramen with a side of ramen. Flushed down with water. Poor man's stew. Ground beef. Potatoes. And onions. Let the potatoes and onions cook with the already cooked ground beef in a pot of water. Add salt and pepper to taste. Yum. Quesadilla. Basically just a more ethnic grilled cheese. Straight up peanut butter. Don't say you've never filled up that way. Ramen noodles with a couple of eggs poached in the broth. Maybe toss in some frozen vegetables. Absolutely delicious. Walk-in tacos. Basically you get a snack-size bag of your favorite chips and fill it up with taco meat. Lettuce. Tomatoes. Sour cream and stuff like that. Now you have walk-in tacos. Edit. Thank you for the awards. For those asking, wondering, I was shown this a few years ago by my cousin that worked for a traveling carnival. On the topic that it's not cheap, well, in the past we've used everything from yard birds to Mickey D patties for the meat. Walk-in taco or taco in a bag. Walk-in tacos sounds better. Emo. It's like BK, it's have it your way. Make it how you want. I put some mac and cheese inside a grilled cheese sandwich. Delicious. A campfire and a can of beans. Hopefully baked beans. But whatever the food shelf is providing that day is alright. Beans and rice. You can get massive bags of dried rice and beans for pretty cheap at wholesale stores. And a big bag will last you a long time. Add a little butter and some cheap spices. And you've got yourself a tasty and healthy meal. Cornbread and pinto beans. I go with a Southern Buttermilk CB and La Preferita Pinto Frijoles. Sleep edit. Yo. Thank you guys for all of the awards. I've had to sleep through dinner and breakfast many times. Hope all of you who are currently in that situation will have better days. They're coming. Trust me. On a shingle. AKA creamed chipped beef on toast. Canned corned beef hash. Enough salt to pickle ya. But absolutely delicious on buttered bread. French omelettes. Eggs. Milk. Butter, salt and pepper. It does require some practice to make them right. But after you do, you will have a quick and delicious meal in a second edit. I forgot to put cream after milk. The ingredients are eggs, milk, cream, butter, salt and pepper. Also, I know some places Will says it doesn't need milk cream. But the scary Frenchman who taught me this dish says it goes with milk cream, so I'm sticking with it. 333 chili, super easy, cheap. Satisfying. I say 333 because all it needs is 3 kinds of canned beans, peppers, and 3 onions. I use a serrano pepper as well cause I like heat. Add 2 cans of canned tomatoes. Chop and mix everything. Let simmer on stove uncovered for at least 1.5 hours. The longer the better. Add any kind of broth as needed. Filling. Cheap. And awesome. Serves 4 or more, thumbs up. Loco moco. White rice. Hamburger patty. Gravy. Egg on top. My dad lived on his own from the age of 14 and he had all kinds of poor man dinners like boiled chicken. It's as bad as it sounds. My absolute favorite was pasta shells with cheese whiz and canned tomatoes. I used to love pork and beans as a kid. Sweet beans and cut up hot dogs, lol. Mac and cheese with ground beef. Taco mix. And baked in a pie plate with bread crumbs and extra cheese on top. It's just amazing. Boil 1 cup white rice, 20 cents. Add cilantro if you have it. Prepare 2 cups black beans, $1.39. Soak 24 hours or cook in Insta-Pot from dry. Melt 1 tablespoon neutral oil of choice. I prefer olive. But butter works. Olive oil is pricey. So butter is a go-to for poverty budget. Dice 1/2 onion, 25 cents. Fry onion in oil. When translucent, add soaked beans to fried onions. Stir in oregano, cayenne, chili pepper, cumin, black pepper, garlic salt, and 1 teaspoon lime juice concentrate. Let flavors mingle until cooked. All less than 50 cents total per serving. Scoop beans over rice. Optional. Top with a little cheese and sour cream. Or diced tomato. 75 cents. The upfront cost really isn't much. And you can stock it in bulk. One batch costs about $3 and makes 4 servings. Don't skimp on the oregano. You can get a lot of it for cheap. Start grating your own cheese. That bagged is stupid expensive. You can get a lot more variety, better flavor, and more volume if you grate your own cheese. Every cuisine in the world's poor people's dishes are usually their best ones. Maybe I'm just generalizing. My old housemates and I would make poverty pasta. Grated zucchini and carrot. A tin of mushrooms and diced tomatoes. A cheap stir-through sauce. Easy. Filling. Kinda healthy. And dirt cheap. Poor man's steak. Seasoned hamburger patty. With sautéed mushrooms. And onions on top. Eggs. Cooked in many different ways. I prefer omelets with chopped veggies. Project donuts. Take some biscuit dough. Cut holes in center. Fry in skillet. Sprinkle some powdered sugar or spread cake icing on top. Better than Dunkin's. Also can make donuts holes out of the center. Cacio e pepe. It's just spaghetti with a sauce you make from reserved pasta water. A ton of parmesan. And black pepper. It's delicious, and since the cheese is gonna be melty you don't need high quality. Just one step above that sawdust shaker cheese. Definitely rice and beans, lentils. But for a fancy looking cheap dish. Stuffed squash. Get a big squash. Cut in half. Scoop the seeds out and fill the cavity with whatever stuffing your desires and circumstances allow. Stale bread. Cornbread. Cooked rice. Barley or really any grain. Or just boxed stuffing. A bit of brown sausage can be nice. But you don't need a ton. Some salt and a bit of herbs like parsley or thyme if you have them. Bake it and you've got something that looks nice but didn't cost much at all.